Hello everyone and welcome back to the Film Feast. My name is Sam Donchis and I'm your host here with another fairly on-time episode. It's so nice to be back on the regular shooting schedule. My last episode was shot, edited, and published within a matter of hours. That was an awesome feeling. And speaking of awesome feelings, the Film Feast has just reached over 150 subscribers. That is amazing. Thanks to all of you who helped make that happen. The channel being alive for only a year and some change, having over 150 subscribers is so humbling, and I thank all of you for that sheer act of kindness, because that's what it is to me, is you all just showing me love, showing me support, and the fact that I am still just rambling about film news and not doing nearly as many video reviews as I want to. Thank you guys, just thank you. As promised, more content on the channel is coming. It's imminent, but right now I have some news to talk about. And unfortunately, it's not very good news. Cary Fukunaga has left the two-part It adaptation for New Line Cinema over budgetary concerns. Now, before I dive deep into this story, Cary Fukunaga is a director you may know of. He directed the entire first season of True Detective for HBO. He also directed the excellent 2011 adaptation of Jane Eyre. Fukunaga is a director with a very keen artistic eye, who also understands the importance of telling a very compelling story. And while he's still attached to direct several other films, this one was unique. Obviously you know of the 1990 ABC miniseries adaptation of Stephen King's It, starring Tim Curry. That one is a classic. Classic that I haven't seen, unfortunately. Cary Fukunaga saw his version of It as a two-part movie, one that was set to begin production in just a matter of weeks. This is made somewhat even more upsetting by the fact that promising young actor Will Poulter was cast as the new Pennywise the Clown. But getting back on track, budget concerns. What were they, and why were they there? Basically, Fukunaga and his pre-production crew were doing a large amount of the legwork at Warner Brothers Studios. In recent weeks, Warner Brothers moved the production down to one of their smaller studios, New Line. The first of the two It films was greenlit with a budget of $30 million. Cary Fukunaga wanted to shoot the film in New York City and had a lot of other artistic demands that ultimately couldn't be met with the $30 million budget. This situation was made even worse when the Poltergeist remake opened with not so great box office returns. That film featured a clown in a majority of its marketing campaign, and it's weird, but that's how these things go sometimes. And the bigwigs over at New Line had cold feet, and they were just like, hey, can we roll this budget just back a little further? Can you work with us? And Fukunaga said no. And that's where this story ends. For now. Maybe New Line will decide to resurrect the film or films with a new director, but that would mean that they would have to start over from square one. Cary Fukunaga was the one who was conceiving these movies. He was writing them from the get-go. So they're really gonna have to put in a good bit of legwork to find someone else who is that committed to this project all over again. Also, after reading up so much about Fukunaga's vision for these films, it's hard to imagine anyone else as the director for them. The first film would focus on children as protagonists, with the second film shifting to them as adults. And I think it was that grand idea for Stephen King's It that led Warner Brothers to move this project to New Line. They have a reputation for investing in these very ambitious saga films, like The Lord of the Rings and later, The Hobbit. But outside of those trilogies, which were guaranteed moneymakers, New Line has had a tough time finding financial success with their films. And as exciting as Cary Fukunaga's two-part It film would have been, it was ultimately a gamble. And while it can be said that Fukunaga is going on to bigger and better things, the same was said for Edgar Wright when he left Ant-Man and Michelle McLaren when she left Wonder Woman, I'm honestly really bummed about this. I really wanted to see it. I'm not a big horror guy, but his vision would have been so exciting and mind-blowing. I'll get over it, just like I always do. But will you? Were you just completely torn up by this news like I was? Were you investing a lot of anticipation in this movie? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like the Film Feast on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and check out my Letterboxd page if you want to see what movies I'm watching right now. And again, thank you to all my subscribers, both old and new, for helping me get to 150. Let's get to 200, guys. I know we can do it. If you have a friend or family member who you think would like the Film Feast, send them my way. I've got more content on the way. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you next time. This is the final meeting of the minds for these two characters, two men who have really gone the distance over the last season. In flashbacks, we see them as the mentor and student, and then after the particle accelerator explosion, they are two men working together to achieve a common goal, especially after Barry is reborn as the Flash. Throughout the season, even though it pains Cisco, he is realizing that Harrison Wells is not the man that he used to think he was. The tables turn, Harrison Wells outs himself as Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash. Vibrate Hand kills Cisco just after telling him that he is like a son to him.
But to me, you've been dead for centuries.
Witherspoon will also be producing this movie with a script written by Victoria Strauss. She also wrote the script for Finding Dory. And I know that's no indication of quality. Finding Dory is still deep in production, not set to come out for another year. June 2016 is the planned release date. But keep in mind, Victoria Strauss is a woman writing a script about another woman. A small woman, but still. Tink is being pitched as The Untold Story. And not the untold story like The Amazing Spider-Man was the untold story, which it wasn't, but more like Maleficent, where they were actually paving new territory.